In our hyper-connected world where data flows like a digital lifeblood, a silent threat looms large: the IT outage. These disruptions, ranging from momentary glitches to widespread blackouts, have the power to bring businesses, governments, and entire societies to their knees. Imagine a world where financial transactions grind to a halt, communication networks go dark, and critical infrastructure systems fall into disarray. This is not the stuff of science fiction. It's a stark reality we face in an era defined by digital interdependence. As we become increasingly reliant on technology, so too grows our vulnerability to its failures. Every minute of downtime translates to lost revenue, compromised data, and eroded trust. From small businesses to multinational corporations, the impact of IT outages reverberates across the economic landscape, jeopardizing stability and stifling growth. The threat extends far beyond the financial realm, however, reaching into the very fabric of our daily lives. When communication networks crumble, we lose touch with loved ones, emergency services are hampered, and essential information remains out of reach. The interconnected nature of our digital ecosystem means that what begins as a localized outage can quickly cascade into a global crisis. A single point of failure in one system can have a domino effect, triggering a chain reaction that disrupts services across continents. In this climate of heightened vulnerability, it is more crucial than ever to heed the warnings of cybersecurity experts who are sounding the alarm about the growing threat posed by IT outages. CrowdStrike's warnings paint a sobering picture of the risks we face. Criminals view IT outages as opportunities to exploit. These outages create windows of vulnerability.
Malicious actors evolve tactics to infiltrate networks and disrupt operations. They are like digital vultures, waiting to capitalize on chaos. Ransomware attacks rise during IT outages. Organizations become vulnerable to extortion. Cybercriminals demand hefty ransoms for decryption keys. Data breaches also pose a significant threat. Stolen data can be sold or used for identity theft. The implications are far-reaching, impacting many. Financial and reputational damage can be devastating.
To fully grasp the gravity of CrowdStrike's warnings, it's essential to understand how criminals exploit IT outages. These malicious actors meticulously plan and execute their attacks, often targeting organizations with precision. During an IT outage, organizations are at their most vulnerable.
IT staff scramble to restore systems, sometimes bypassing security protocols. This creates a perfect storm for cybercriminals to slip through the cracks. One common tactic is exploiting the confusion to launch phishing attacks. Emails or texts appear from legitimate sources, tricking employees into clicking malicious links. In the chaos, employees may fall for these scams, granting criminals access to sensitive data.
The consequences of successful cyber attacks during IT outages can be catastrophic. Financially, organizations face lost revenue from disrupted operations, the cost of restoring data and systems, and potential legal fees and regulatory fines. The reputational damage can be equally severe, eroding customer trust, damaging brand image, and impacting future business opportunities. Beyond the immediate financial and reputational fallout, IT outages exploited by criminals can have far-reaching societal impacts.
Critical infrastructure systems, such as power grids, transportation networks, and healthcare facilities, are increasingly reliant on digital technologies. Attacks on these systems during outages could disrupt essential services, putting lives at risk and causing widespread chaos. In an increasingly interconnected world, where data is the lifeblood of our digital economy and social fabric, the stakes have never been higher. Protecting ourselves from the growing threat of criminals exploiting IT outages requires a multifaceted approach, encompassing technological solutions, robust cybersecurity practices, and a heightened awareness of the risks involved.
To truly comprehend CrowdStrike's warnings, we must delve into how criminals exploit IT outages. These are calculated assaults meticulously planned with a chilling understanding of vulnerabilities.
Imagine a bank vault left briefly unguarded. That's what an IT outage represents. The first stage often involves reconnaissance. Cybercriminals invest time in identifying targets and understanding their systems.
Once a target is selected and an outage detected, the real work begins. Criminals exploit tools designed to keep organizations safe. Remote access software, VPNs, even cloud-based applications can become weapons.
That moment often arises during the chaotic scramble to restore services. IT staff, under immense pressure, may inadvertently create security gaps.
Ransomware stands out as perhaps the most insidious threat during IT outages. Cybercriminals exploit these moments, knowing organizations are desperate to regain control of their digital assets.
Imagine a hospital offline, patient records held hostage, surgeries delayed. The human cost is immeasurable. Ransomware spreads rapidly, encrypting critical data files, making them inaccessible without a decryption key.
Backup systems can also be compromised, leaving organizations with little choice but to negotiate. The decision to pay the ransom is complex, with ethical, financial, and legal considerations.
Law enforcement advises against paying, but the risk of losing irreplaceable data makes it a tough choice.
While ransomware attacks often grab headlines due to their immediate and disruptive nature, data breaches during IT outages represent a more insidious threat, one that often unfolds silently in the shadows with potentially far-reaching consequences.
Imagine waking up to discover that your personal information, financial records, or even medical history has been compromised, sold on the dark web, or used for identity theft. The impact can be devastating and long-lasting.
Data breaches during IT outages exploit not only weakened security postures, but also the diverted attention of IT staff. With their focus primarily on restoring critical systems and services, security logs might go unmonitored. Suspicious network activity might slip under the radar, and vulnerabilities might remain unpatched for longer than usual, providing ample opportunity for cybercriminals to infiltrate systems and exfiltrate sensitive data.
These breaches can take various forms. Hackers might exploit a known vulnerability in a web application, gaining access to a database containing customer information. They might launch a phishing campaign, tricking employees into revealing their login credentials or downloading malware that grants them remote access to systems. They might even physically infiltrate data centers or offices, taking advantage of reduced security personnel during an outage.
The stolen data, once in the hands of cybercriminals, becomes a valuable commodity on the digital black market. Credit card details, social security numbers, medical records, proprietary business information, all can be sold and resold on underground forums, fueling further criminal activity from identity theft and financial fraud to corporate espionage and even nation-state-sponsored attacks.
Beyond financial gain, the broader implications of exploiting outages are profound.
These attacks strike at the heart of our interconnected world, undermining trust in digital systems and disrupting critical infrastructure. Imagine a cyber attack crippling a power grid, plunging millions into darkness and halting essential services.
Critical infrastructure systems are increasingly reliant on digital technologies, exposing them to new vulnerabilities.
A successful attack could lead to widespread blackouts, disrupting communication networks and putting lives at risk. The erosion of trust in digital systems has far-reaching societal implications, hindering innovation and economic growth.
A call to action: the need for proactive cybersecurity measures.
CrowdStrike's warnings remind us that we live in a digital world fraught with risk. IT outages have become prime opportunities for cybercriminals to exploit vulnerabilities. This demands a shift to proactive, multi-layered defense strategies. It's a shared imperative for businesses, governments, and individuals.
The first line of defense is resilient IT infrastructure. Invest in robust systems with failover mechanisms and disaster recovery plans.
Foster a culture of cybersecurity awareness at all levels. Educate employees about cyber threats and security protocols. A human firewall built on knowledge and vigilance can mitigate risks.
Adopt a proactive approach, monitor networks, and implement robust security solutions.
Collaboration is key. Sharing threat intelligence and best practices strengthens defenses. Cybersecurity is an essential investment for protecting our digital society.
Echoes of outages past, a history of exploitation.
History is littered with cautionary tales of IT outages swiftly exploited by malicious actors, each incident a harsh lesson in the cost of unpreparedness.
Consider the infamous Y2K bug of the late 1990s. While the predicted digital apocalypse never materialized, it highlighted the interconnectedness of our digital ecosystem and the potential for widespread disruption.
When the lights went out in Ukraine, NotPetya's crippling blow was felt across the globe.
What set NotPetya apart was its intent to cause maximum disruption and chaos, with financial gain seemingly a secondary objective.
The attack began in Ukraine, targeting businesses and government agencies, and spread rapidly, crippling global operations and causing over $10 billion in damage. The 2016 Swift hack showcased the audacity and sophistication of criminal gangs targeting the global financial system.
The attackers, linked to the Lazarus Group, exploited vulnerabilities in Bangladesh Bank's security protocols to craft fraudulent transfer requests, attempting to steal nearly $1 billion.
The Swift hack exposed vulnerabilities in the global financial system, highlighting the importance of robust cybersecurity measures. While high-profile attacks grab headlines, countless smaller-scale attacks and near misses occur daily.
These incidents provide a granular view of the threat landscape, revealing how criminals exploit outages and adapt their strategies.
Each incident underscores the importance of robust security monitoring and incident response capabilities.
The threat landscape is constantly evolving, with cyber criminals becoming more sophisticated and organized.
The rise of advanced persistent threats, or APTs, involves well-funded groups engaging in long-term espionage and sabotage campaigns.
Organizations must adopt a proactive and multi-layered defense strategy to anticipate threats and build resilience.
The proliferation of the Internet of Things, or IoT, presents a tempting target for cybercriminals.
Each connected device represents a potential entry point into a network, a gateway for malicious actors to exploit during an outage.
The sheer scale and diversity of IoT devices exacerbate the challenge, making it difficult to implement and manage security across the entire ecosystem. The rise of cloud computing introduces new challenges and amplifies existing risks, particularly during IT outages.
An outage affecting a cloud provider's infrastructure could disrupt access to critical resources, potentially crippling operations.
Organizations must implement their own security controls within the cloud environment to mitigate risks and ensure data confidentiality, integrity, and availability. AI and automation hold both promise and peril in cybersecurity.
AI-powered malware can learn and adapt, evading traditional security measures and spreading rapidly during an outage.
However, AI-powered security solutions can also enhance defenses, automating threat detection and response to minimize downtime and reduce the impact of attacks. Social engineering attacks remain highly effective, particularly during IT outages when stress levels are high.
Attackers exploit human emotions such as fear and urgency to trick individuals into compromising security.
The rise of social media and mobile devices has amplified the threat, making us more susceptible to falling for these scams.
Section 5. The future of cyber warfare, a battleground without borders. As we look ahead, the convergence of these technological advancements paints a complex and challenging picture for the future of cybersecurity. The battleground is no longer confined to the digital realm, but extends into every aspect of our lives, from our homes and workplaces to our critical infrastructure and national security.
The lines between cybercrime, cyber espionage, and cyber warfare are becoming increasingly blurred, with nation-states playing an increasingly active role in cyberspace. developing and deploying sophisticated cyber weapons to achieve political, economic, and military objectives.
In this new era of cyber warfare, IT outages will no longer be viewed as mere technical glitches, but as potential triggers for cascading failures, economic disruption, and even geopolitical instability. The stakes have never been higher, and the need for a robust and coordinated global response has never been more urgent.
This response must involve a multifaceted approach, encompassing technological innovation, robust cybersecurity practices, international cooperation, and a renewed focus on education and awareness. We must invest in the development of next-generation security solutions, leverage the power of AI and automation to enhance our defenses, and foster a culture of cybersecurity awareness at all levels of society.
Furthermore, we must strengthen international cooperation and information sharing to counter the transnational nature of cyber threats, dismantle criminal networks, and deter nation-states from engaging in malicious cyber activities. The future of our digital world depends on our ability to meet these challenges head-on, to adapt to the evolving threat landscape, and to build a more secure and resilient digital future for all.
Building fortresses in the digital age, strengthening IT infrastructure. As we've seen, IT outages are not merely inconveniences, they're open invitations for cybercriminals seeking to exploit vulnerabilities and wreak havoc. Therefore, the first line of defense must be building robust and resilient IT infrastructure capable of withstanding not only technical glitches but also deliberate attacks.
Imagine a medieval fortress built to repel invaders. Thick walls, guarded gates, and watchful sentries all play a role in ensuring its security. Similarly, a modern IT infrastructure requires multiple layers of protection, each designed to thwart a specific type of threat.
At the foundation lies redundancy. Critical systems and data should be replicated across multiple servers and locations, ensuring that if one system fails, another can seamlessly take over, minimizing downtime and preventing data loss. This is akin to having multiple escape routes in a fortress, ensuring that even if one is blocked, there's always another way out.
Next comes hardening, the process of securing systems and networks to minimize their attack surface. This involves disabling unnecessary services, patching vulnerabilities promptly, implementing strong authentication mechanisms, and configuring firewalls to block unauthorized access. Think of it as reinforcing the fortress walls, removing any footholds or weaknesses that attackers might exploit.
Equally important is the implementation of intrusion detection and prevention systems, which act like watchful sentries, constantly monitoring network traffic for suspicious activity and automatically taking action to block or mitigate threats. These systems can detect and block known attack patterns, identify anomalies in network behavior, and even learn from past attacks to proactively thwart new threats. Cybersecurity, a shared responsibility from server room to living room. While robust IT infrastructure forms the foundation of a strong cybersecurity posture, technology alone is not enough. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, requiring vigilance and proactive action from everyone, from IT professionals to everyday users.
Just as every citizen plays a role in safeguarding a physical city, every individual connected to the digital world must be aware of the risks and take steps to protect themselves and their data. This begins with education and awareness. Organizations must invest in regular cybersecurity training for their employees, teaching them about the various types of threats, the tactics employed by cybercriminals, and the importance of following security protocols.
Employees should be trained to recognize phishing emails, create strong passwords, avoid clicking on suspicious links, and report any security concerns to the IT department. This human firewall, built on knowledge and vigilance, can be incredibly effective in preventing attacks.
But cybersecurity awareness shouldn't be confined to the workplace. In an era where our personal lives are increasingly intertwined with the digital world, it's crucial for individuals to take responsibility for their own cybersecurity. This includes securing home networks with strong passwords, keeping software and operating systems up to date, using antivirus and anti-malware software, and being cautious about the information they share online.
Parents have a particularly important role to play in educating their children about online safety, teaching them about the risks of cyberbullying, online predators, and sharing personal information online. Proactive defense hunting threats before they breach the walls. In the past, cybersecurity was often reactive, focusing on responding to attacks after they had occurred. However, in today's rapidly evolving threat landscape, a proactive approach is essential, one that anticipates threats, identifies vulnerabilities, and takes steps to mitigate risks before they can be exploited.
This requires a shift in mindset, from simply building walls to actively hunting down threats and neutralizing them before they can breach the defenses. Proactive defense involves a combination of strategies, including threat intelligence gathering, vulnerability scanning, penetration testing, and security information and event management, or CM.
Threat intelligence involves gathering information about emerging threats, attack methods, and malicious actors from various sources, such as security vendors, industry groups, and government agencies. This information can then be used to identify potential threats to the organization, assess their likelihood and impact, and take steps to mitigate the risks.
Vulnerability scanning involves regularly scanning systems and networks for known security weaknesses, using automated tools to identify misconfigurations, outdated software, and other vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. Penetration testing takes this a step further, simulating real-world attacks to identify weaknesses in the organization's defenses and assess their ability to withstand a real attack.
Security information and event management, or CM systems, provide a centralized platform for collecting, analyzing, and correlating security data from various sources such as firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and antivirus software. This allows security teams to gain a comprehensive view of the organization's security posture, identify patterns and anomalies, and respond more effectively to threats. In the interconnected world of cyberspace, no organization is an island.
The threats we face are often transnational and interconnected, with cybercriminals sharing tactics, tools, and even infrastructure.
To effectively counter these threats, collaboration and information sharing are essential, both within industries and across sectors.
Imagine a network of watchtowers, each guarding a different section of a city wall. If one tower spots an approaching enemy but doesn't alert the others, the entire city is at risk.
Similarly, sharing information about cyber threats, vulnerabilities, and attack methods can help organizations strengthen their defenses, prevent attacks, and minimize the impact of breaches.
Industry-specific information sharing and analysis centers, or ISACs, play a vital role in facilitating this collaboration.
ISACs provide a forum for organizations within a particular sector, such as finance, healthcare, or energy, to share threat intelligence, best practices, and lessons learned from cyber incidents.
They also work closely with government agencies, such as the Department of Homeland Security and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, to receive and disseminate threat information and coordinate responses to major cyber incidents.
Collaboration should also extend beyond national borders.
International organizations such as the International Telecommunication Union and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization play a crucial role in fostering cooperation between nations, developing international standards and norms for cyberspace, and coordinating responses to global cyber threats.
Section 5. Investing in our digital future. Cybersecurity as a national priority.
As we've seen, the consequences of cyber attacks exploiting IT outages can be far-reaching, impacting not only individual organizations but also critical infrastructure, national security, and the global economy. In this digital age, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue. It's a national priority, requiring a whole-of-society approach that involves governments, businesses, and individuals working together to build a more secure and resilient digital future. Governments have a crucial role to play in setting cybersecurity standards, providing guidance and resources to businesses and individuals, and fostering international cooperation to combat cybercrime and deter nation-state actors from engaging in malicious cyber activities. This includes investing in cybersecurity research and development, supporting the education and training of a skilled cybersecurity workforce, and enacting legislation to protect critical infrastructure and data from cyberattacks. Businesses must also recognize that cybersecurity is not just a cost of doing business, but an investment in their long-term viability and success. This means making cybersecurity a board-level priority, allocating adequate resources to cybersecurity initiatives, and implementing robust security measures to protect their data, systems, and customers. Finally, individuals must recognize their role as responsible digital citizens, taking steps to protect their own data and devices, being vigilant against cyber threats, and supporting efforts to promote cybersecurity awareness and education. The digital world is an integral part of our lives, and its security is paramount to our collective well-being. By working together, we can build a more secure and resilient digital future for all. Navigating the future of IT security. The digital age has ushered in an era of unprecedented vulnerability. We face new challenges and threats in our interconnected world. IT outages have become potent weapons for disruption. We've seen the rise of ransomware and data breaches. The stakes are incredibly high, yet there's hope for a secure digital future. Technology equips us to combat these threats. We are active participants in shaping this digital revolution. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility demanding collective effort. Section 2, a world empowered knowledge and action as our greatest defenses. If knowledge is power, then in the realm of cybersecurity, it's our most potent weapon. For just as a well-informed citizenry is essential for a thriving democracy, so too is a digitally literate population crucial for a secure and resilient online world. We must move beyond the misconception that cybersecurity is the sole domain of tech wizards and security professionals.
It's about empowering every individual, regardless of age, profession, or technical expertise, with the knowledge and skills to navigate the digital landscape safely and responsibly. This means integrating cybersecurity education into school curricula, teaching children and young adults about online safety, responsible social media use, and the importance of protecting personal information.
It means providing accessible and engaging cybersecurity training for employees at all levels of an organization, ensuring they understand the risks, recognize potential threats, and know how to respond appropriately. Furthermore, we must bridge the digital divide, ensuring that access to cybersecurity knowledge and resources is not limited to the privileged few. This includes providing training and support for seniors who are increasingly targeted by cybercriminals, as well as reaching out to underserved communities and developing countries where access to technology and digital literacy might be limited. Knowledge, however, is only as valuable as its application. We must move beyond awareness to action, translating our understanding of cyber threats into concrete steps to mitigate risks and strengthen our defenses. This means adopting strong password practices, keeping software and operating systems up to date, being wary of phishing attempts, and backing up important data regularly. Section 3. Towards a more resilient digital tomorrow, a collective stand for security. The challenges we face in cyberspace are complex and constantly evolving, but they are not insurmountable. Just as we've overcome adversity throughout history, so too can we build a more secure and resilient digital future. But it requires a collective effort, a recognition that we are all stakeholders in this digital age, and that our collective security depends on our willingness to work together, share information, and support one another.
Governments must play a leading role, enacting legislation to protect critical infrastructure, fostering international cooperation to combat cybercrime, and investing in cybersecurity research and development. They must also prioritize cybersecurity education and awareness campaigns, ensuring that citizens are equipped with the knowledge and skills to navigate the digital world safely.
Businesses too have a crucial role to play. They must make cybersecurity a board-level priority, allocating adequate resources to protect their data, systems, and customers. They must also work collaboratively, sharing threat intelligence and best practices within their industries and across sectors.
And individuals must recognize their responsibility as digital citizens, taking proactive steps to protect their own devices and data, and supporting efforts to promote cybersecurity awareness in their communities.
The digital revolution has ushered in an era of unprecedented opportunity, connecting people, ideas, and economies like never before. But this interconnectedness also brings vulnerability. By embracing a collective responsibility for cybersecurity, by empowering ourselves with knowledge and taking proactive steps to mitigate risks, we can harness the power of technology while safeguarding ourselves from its potential perils. The future of our digital world depends on it.